Almost 2.5 years after the brutal Moscow murders, we are finally getting our hands on never-before-seen text messages and a 911 call from surviving roommates the morning after the murders. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy has been combing through those documents, even spoke with a lawyer on what this evidence means for the upcoming trial. Connor?
Well, it's been a little over 2 years since Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were found murdered in their Moscow home. Tonight, we're seeing what their surviving roommates were texting and saying to dispatchers when they made that gruesome discovery. And the prosecution wants to use these messages as evidence in Brian Kohberger's upcoming trial. The text messages revealed in newly released court documents are between two surviving roommates identified by their initials DM and BF. They begin at around 4:22 a.m. the morning of the murders. DM texts, "I'm freaking out right now," and BF soon responds, saying, "Come to my room." The messages discuss the two being scared while at the scene. They also go on to show the two discussing someone wearing a ski mask. Their statements outside of court, the prosecution argues, is an example of what attorney Chris Bugbee says is known as a present tense impression. The prosecution is arguing the texts outline a timeline of events the night of the murders and should be admitted as evidence in the case.
An observation that a witness was making outside of court, but during the time that they're observing whatever it is that they are describing.
Bugbee is a criminal justice attorney in Spokane and practices in Washington and Idaho. He's not connected to this case, but agreed to talk to us to provide some analysis. He says this would not make the text messages hearsay and would be taken into evidence. Court documents also show Kohberger's defense team arguing against the death penalty if he is found guilty. At the same time, the state is arguing the recording and transcript of the 911 call made when Xana Kernodle was initially found dead at the scene should also be brought into evidence. It reads a person on the line saying, "One of the roommates who's passed out and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up." The transcript goes on to read, "They saw some man in their house last night." Yeah. Judge John Judge in Latah County ruled the recording can be used as evidence before the trial was relocated to Ada County. The defense argues the evidence was not made available to them and gets in the way of Kohberger's right to a fair trial.
Their argument that they've hid all the discovery in a haystack and that therefore it's not available to us even though it's been provided, that is a legitimate argument, and it's something that I think the state ought to be worried about.
An argument Bugbee says could lead to a potential delay in the trial if the death penalty is still an option.
If the only way, short of dismissing the petition for death, if the only other way to preserve Mr. Kohberger's rights is to give the defense more time, you may see another continuance.
The state, prosecution, and defense are all waiting for Judge Stephen Hippler's decision on all arguments. Kohberger's trial is currently set to start in August. If you want to read the full transcript, just head to our website at krem.com. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
All right.